Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to Get Well Soon, the red pill content of Welly F, aka Moriarty, where the mindset is you either die a villain or you live long enough to see yourself become a simp. Okay, you can clearly see that I'm enjoying this format, although this format isn't any easier than sitting in front of the camera looking like a weirdo. I, I just feel like this is something that will probably help me be a lot more consistent. You're probably annoyed at the fact that you get these videos at random times of the day, but my follower count isn't up to the numbers where I feel like I need to be that consistent. But anyway, I just felt like I needed to say that. Anyway, today's episode is brought to you by WGTOW, Women Going Their Own Way. And this article brought me to tears of laughter. When I say, when I read more women are paying alimony as more wives become breadwinners, I can do nothing but celebrate for International Women's Day. Because I know that this is a milestone that they did not consider as they put themselves into positions to be breadwinners. See, the main reason that I feel the title of this video is appropriate is after reading a couple lines, it made me realize that women are eventually going to be put in a position to where they're going to look at it like, you know what? The juice ain't worth the squeeze. This article, I think, chronicles a journey of two women that realize that after getting away from their husbands, this just ain't worth it. So, one over-the-top example, a female business executive with a seven-figure income whose husband made far less money than she did ended up supporting her ex's expensive online pornography habit with her alimony payments. Marzano Lesnovich told MarketWatch. Marzano Lesnovich, who represented the husband, said she successfully argued that those entertainment expenses were a part of his lifestyle. See, I've always felt that when people reach into another person's pocket to support their lavish lifestyle, I've always found that trifling. I still find it trifling now, even on men's behalf. But I can only imagine how detached and disconnected from the fact that a lot of women out there don't realize how much they do this to support their lavish lifestyles. Because what people need to understand is long nails, weave, purse habits, cosmetics, so many of those things are not necessities. A lot of those things are just living a lavish lifestyle. That is the lifestyle of your typical American. Just like pornography is not a necessity, none of those cosmetic enhancements are necessities neither. They belong in the same bucket. I'm sorry. So I definitely would have to agree with the court, because if they're going to say, hey, this is, alimony payments are going to go towards this, hey, it's a pornography habit in 2020 is no different from a Netflix habit. It's no different from an HBO habit. You're sitting there, you're watching television. Because let's be honest, a lot of the television we watch these days on your HBOs, your Cinemax, and things like that are pretty pornographic anyway. But anyways, I thought that was sweet justice. The wife wasn't happy about it, to say the least. And okay. Women have to understand this, that no matter how educated, how professional, how modern they are, they have to learn that alimony is going to be a thing. They're so used to this being paid by fathers that they thought that as they become leaders and heads of households, it wouldn't apply to them because they're women. That is crazy. And you have to understand that it all comes back to the fact that women are not truly used to responsibility or accountability. They see those things as, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But the fact of the matter is, you're a breadwinner now. You're a breadwinner now. You're a head of the household now. That comes with the territory. One thing that annoyed me a little bit was they said in 29 years ago, it was maybe 1 out of 100 cases involved where women were paying spousal support, but now it's 2 out of 10. I'm shocked it's still that low. It just goes to show that if we're looking at moms being the providers in 40% of the households and the divorce rates being as high as they are, and then you're talking about only 2 out of 10 cases, something doesn't add up there. Something just doesn't add up there. So, like I said, that bothered me a little bit. But either way, like I said, small victories. I literally could not believe it. I like this section. It talks about the paying alimony is something Sarah Gilbert never thought she would have to do. Once again, gentlemen, this is a mindset of a woman that thinks that, yes, I'm going to take on the traditional role that men used to take, and I don't have to suffer the consequences. But the 44-year-old mom of 3 boys now sends $349 a month to her ex-husband. The Portland, Oregon resident says, gotta love Portland and their progressive ways. But yeah, it turns out her husband was a stockbroker when they first met. Then he left the financial world to join the U.S. Army. After the military, he struggled to find work and was unemployed when they split. Gilbert was working part-time as a bicycle tour guide, making about $1,000 a month. During the divorce, see, I think the thing that stuck out to me the most was that he was a U.S. Army. He's a vet. He couldn't find work. And we know how hypergamy works. We know that women are hardwired to date up, to seek the best. When he was in the Army, he was in a position of status, so to speak. I mean, obviously, as a stockbroker, he was of a higher status. But to go and fight for your country, that is highly commendable, and I'm pretty sure that's why this ended up the way it ended up, with Sarah Gilbert being shocked when a judge gave her ex-husband primary custody and ordered Gilbert to pay monthly support. The jaw dropped out my mouth, Gilbert says. I literally could not believe it. Had I been working a corporate job, I would have expected to pay spousal support to him, but I was a tour guide. I don't know what to tell you, man. Well, either way, female breadwinners going through divorce will sometimes argue that their husband is underemployed and could have earned as much as they did if he worked as hard as she did. But the reality is, if during the course of the marriage you allowed him to make less and took on the role of the breadwinner, you are going to pay the support. This article, at the end of the day, the reason this video is titled WGTOW is because you have to understand something. The primary reason MGTOW exists, which is MGTOW for men, is due to the fact that men are waking up, taking the red pill and realizing that the juice is not worth the squeeze. And it's enough men out there paying child support that have gotten in situations where they're forced to look like deadbeat dads, and it's just it sucks. Well, yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow, but once again, ladies, you have to realize you have taken on a role that your great-grandparents didn't have to worry about, because your great-grandparents were in homes doing the back-breaking labor that you guys don't want to do because you feel like, your grandparents suffer from internal misogyny and all this BS. Well, look, you make the money, you're a leader, you're the head of the household, you're the breadwinner, you like these titles. Well, guess what? With these titles come consequences. It's like being the president of the United States. You take on a big role like that, you're the leader of the free world. This is probably the most popular country on this globe. Like, this is where everybody wants to be. Guess what? With that responsibility comes very, very, very much scrutiny, comes with a lot of consequence. It is not all peaches and cream, rainbows and sunshine. So yes, I do believe that although WGTOW already exists, I can see where this will contribute to the uprise of the WGTOW movement. It says a growing number of women are paying alimony and child support when their marriages break up, according to a 2018 survey out of 1,650 lawyers by the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers. Some 54% of attorneys surveyed have seen an increase in mothers paying child support in the last 3 years. So in 2020, you can look at about 50% of the cases now where women are paying alimony. Nah, women aren't going to put up with that for long. So, like I said, WGTOW will most likely be on the rise. You will see an uptick in very, very angry women that are probably just going to be looking at it like, hey, there has to be an alternative to getting married to a man. And they'll start pulling out the tricks because we do stay in a society where if they don't see the women benefiting, then they're probably going to start doing things very, very much to benefit women. And you can expect that. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but we know that America is pretty much Cucksville. So prepare for it. And brace yourself, gentlemen, and laugh while we can, because in all honesty, this may not last long. But anyways, with that being said, until we meet again.